Hello everyone, this is Shinobi, once again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. So I've been checking the content creator videos and the chats and also looking at YouTube to see if there are any new videos about what we received as game updates from Boolin. So if you have checked the Discord, you must have seen the game updates that Boolin has recently given. So this video is just to talk about that. It's a semi-rant video. At the same time, it's also a video that we are going to discuss about what Boolin has said as the game update. So let's start with what she said. She said, "Hello, my dear players and fans. With the recent changes, we realize that morale is low. Of course, they acknowledge now that the events that they introduced did cause a lot of problem within the community. The community is facing quite a lot of problems, and the community members are mostly, or I would say a large majority of the community members are quite dissatisfied with what has happened with the new events. I personally also have faced the ire of quite a few of my viewers and people who chat with me. They're like, you're not understanding the problems that has caused by this new event that has been introduced by Ace. I do understand. I understand perfectly that, I have been facing the same problems myself. I don't have enough time to do every event. I don't have enough time to finish off the dailies. I do not have time to even do my guild boss. So it's a little bit, it's a lot, not a little bit, it's a lot problematic with the new format of the events that they have introduced. And they acknowledge it. Ace has acknowledged it that it's causing a lot of problem. But what they have introduced as of now has been done, but they are going to change it. That's what they are going to, that's what Boolin is basically saying. At least they realize that there is a problem and they need to address it, right? And how soon they are going to address it is going to be a problem. If they are going to make it too late, then they are going to lose a lot of players. They have already lost quite a lot of players, and we do not want this to continue. So what Boolin was saying is that they do understand that the morale is low. Let's continue with what she said. So she says, "But I have collected all of your suggestions and feedback to share with our devs, our players feel, and we are trying to find a solution to make everyone feel better." Yeah, I hope they find a solution. If they don't find a solution, then it's going to be a problem for the game. He continues and says, "It seems what everyone is really focused on are the books, events, and any potential gap that could grow between free-to-play players and pay-to-win players. So here is an update we can share for now. I do not think that everybody is only concerned with books, events, and any potential gap. That's not the only thing that everyone is concerned about. People are concerned about a lot of stuff. They are concerned about the time that is taken. Of course, they have addressed that at the end of the video. At the end of the video, they've spoken about the time, but we have to understand there are a lot of issues within the game. You need to speed up the dungeon runs. 2 minutes per run or 3 minutes or 4 minutes per run is not what we want for farming. People want to farm faster. They don't have the time to. I work 6 days a week. I work 6 days, 6 into 8. That's like 48 hours a week I work. And I've got my family to look after. I've got places to go, shopping to do, take my kids to places, take them to school. So for me to farm 2 or 3 minutes a run is not going to be easy. It's a difficult task, right? So I can understand what happens with the rest of the people as well. The rest of the people are going to face the same thing. They might be having much more problem than what I'm facing. So there's a big time issue when it comes to just introducing some background farming is not enough. It's absolutely not enough. You have to make it faster. The game has to move faster, and also they have to bring in situations where they have to bring in system where you can farm more than 10 times. 10 multi-battle is not what happens in most games. most games would prefer people to do much more multi-battle. Don't you think that you would want, even if, take for example, a pay-to-win player, they cannot sit in front of their computer and after every 10, or in front of their phone, and after every 10 battle keep on clicking on the phone or on the computer. They need, I'm pretty sure many of them would be using some kind of macros or some kind of software, even if they are not discussing it or telling it. I don't use it. I personally do not recommend it. I personally do not use it for Awaken Chaos Era. I've always used the multi-battle function. But unless they use it, how are they going to do it? The multi-battle system is so limited. We need more multi-battle. You should allow people to farm continuously. And the funny thing is that Awaken Chaos Era is not understanding that people who are paying to play this game would prefer to do that and spend a lot of money on the bread. I'm not talking about free-to-play players. I'm talking about people who are ready to spend. For free-to-play players, even for them, if they have saved enough energy, if they have saved enough bread and they want to do farm consistently, say at the end for an event or for any other, if they want to farm to get good gear or to get points in an event, they would prefer that. So why just 10 multi-battle? Why not 20? Why not 100? Let it be 100. Let that system be introduced. Okay, that's something we'll talk about in detail later. Let's continue with what she says here. She says devs have promised that they will add books in game in October gradually over time, but they still need time to finalize the details. I'm happy that they have decided to add the books in game. Most games give such books as part of, progression rewards, or maybe as guild boss or clan boss rewards. I would say, why not have a guild boss reward giving books and also summons? Maybe you can get 1 summon or 2 summon a month or a week. Why not that? Why not have more than 2 summons a week? Why not let it drop in the guild boss chest? Why not give books based on the amount of damage dealt? Yeah, look at, for example, we all came to Awaken Chaos Era from Red Shadow Legends. Red Shadow Legends gives skill books, gives Sacred Shard, Void Shard in their clan boss chest. And the drop rates are ridiculous. It's not like you get a lot of drop rate out of it. You might be getting like around 1 or 2 Sacreds a month. You might be getting around 2 or 3 Lego books a month. You might be getting around 5 to 10 epic books a month. That's, even then, people literally fight to get those rewards within the clan boss. So why not do the same thing over here? I'm not saying to copy them exactly. I'm saying that you can introduce that in guild boss, you can introduce that in GVE, you can introduce that in tag arena or in arena rewards, so that more people, when they participate in these events, they'll be getting these books. Otherwise, the gap is certainly going to increase. Okay, that is just a suggestion. It's not that, they should do it this way or they should give more or less. It's just my opinion. Okay, so the books are going to be very important. Like in the event, we cannot get the legendary book unless we spend for it. And why would we spend for it? How many people are going to spend for it? So it's like, why should there be a gap for it? So I think they should ensure that people who are ready to farm, spend time to finish the event, should be getting the ultimate rewards. And that should not be paywalled. The paywall should be how much runs they need to do. But that should be achievable at the end of the day even by free-to-play players. If they are farming it consistently, if they are dedicatedly farming it, they should be able to achieve it at the end of the day. Almost every game does that. They say that, okay, if you're able to save your energy and you want to get 1 Lego book in this event, you can get it, but it's going to take you a lot of dedication to get that. And that's what free-to-play players are asking for. They want time to do it. They want the ability to get it. Right now, no one is able to get that. It's only people who are able to spend it are able to get it. And there is not sufficient time to do it. So she was also talking about the events. She says, we are tracking data and will adjust points if it appears that many of our active players can't reach it. What do you mean by appears that many of our active players can't reach it? We can't reach it. I'm not going to sit in front of my mobile throughout the day just to farm the event, and because of the reduced point and the reduced time frame to get those points, and then be able to get those rewards. I'm not able to do it. I didn't have the time to do it. And so what I'm saying is that we know that most of your active players are not able to reach it. It's only people who are able to sit in front of the computer or probably using macros or some other stuff. I don't understand how anybody could have got 27 or 35,000 points in Tulpa. Tulpa is the slowest of runs, right? So if you're doing such slow runs and you have 4 days, how many runs you must have done to get 35,000 points with the reduced point ones? If they look at the system, they should be able to ascertain how that guy got that much point. It's a question. It's a legitimate question, and I'm not questioning that the person dedication of the person. I'm just questioning how they could get it. How many hours did they spend? If they spend that kind of time, then it's certainly not good for the game. You should not have to do that kind of farming to get that kind of reward. Okay. So she said, I've also suggested that there could be a new type of blended event where some points come from hero promotion and some from gear enhance. Now she's only offering one suggestion. I understand that's her suggestion, and that's only for one kind of an event. What about the rest of the events? So are they going to give us blended events for those as well? So that's not the only one single thing that is concerning the player base. The player base has got much bigger concerns than just some hero promotion event or some gear enhancement event. They have got concerns with all the events that has been introduced now. So I hope that ACE will look into it, the developers will look into it, and there will be some kind of solution arrived at within the next month. Okay, the third point that she was talking about was the gap. So she says developers will continue to pay attention to the gap between players. It was never intended by developers to make the gap between F2P, free-to-play, and pay-to-win players too large. We know everyone loves ACE, and we are trying our best to monitor the situation by tracking the data. Okay, and if she says that was not their intention, I'll say, okay, fine. If that was not your intention, you now know the data. You now know the problem that has been that has risen. You had a problem with Halia. You have a problem with Nero. Now you're having a problem with the event. So right from the Halia event, the decisions taken by ACE with dealing with their community has been, causing a lot of strife within the community, and people have been leaving. And so ACE needs to consolidate their effort and their decisions to ensure that the community is stable, right? So I understand it may not have been their intention, but they now know that this has caused a lot of problem. We are not just talking about free-to-play players, the gap between free-to-play and pay-to-win. There will always be a gap. Okay, there will always be some gap between free-to-play and pay-to-win. There's never going to be a situation where free-to-play players are always... There will be some people who will be super strong in free-to-play, but a whale will always be a whale. Okay, so that gap is going to be there. But their actions have caused... It's not just about increasing the gap, it's that the free-to-play players cannot achieve it at all, and that's the problem, right? So ACE has to understand that the problem is that it's like you are saying that you have a marathon over here. You have players who can run the marathon, but these people they are also part of the team or the participants, but they cannot run the marathon, and they have to somehow participate in the marathon. I know that analogy is not the right analogy, but it's like you are not allowed to do it, but you are supposed to participate in it. How can that be? You cannot simply decide one fine day that, okay, these people are not at all required for this game. We are only looking at one section of the community and the rest of the section are going to be discarded. That's not supposed to happen. They need to consider everybody. I understand that they need to earn money, but they need to run the company. The company needs money in order to sustain itself. We understand. So they need to find a balance between it, right? So there has to be a balance in which, like most other games, find a balance between how to sustain their company and how to also keep their free-to-play players or people who are the majority of their player base satisfied. If they are not able to do that, it will cause a lot of problems. You can see that within what has happened within the last few weeks, right from Halia debacle. Okay, let's move on from there. Okay, so what she says is that, so rest assured that if the gap is too big, don't say that. That's too much. They will only take an action if the gap is too big. So what if the gap is not that big? Will they not take an action to satisfy their player base? No, that's not what we want to hear. So rest assured that if the gap is too big, we'll make an effort to figure out how to reduce the gap. It's still, that answer is not satisfying. No, I'm not really happy with that sentence over there. What do you mean? I understand Ace has got a problem with English. I have a problem with English. English is not my first language, okay? But even for me, this is not a satisfying sentence. It's not an assuring sentence. No, you cannot wait till the gap is too big and then think about taking action. You have to take an action now. So what she continues to say is that what developers want most is to see that free-to-play players and play-to-win players can enjoy their favorite Ace game content in a fair fashion. That is a really good view that they have. I hope they can enact action on it. Right? They can put something into action and bring that into the game. I understand they really understand what this problem is, what the situation is. They are not, doubling back onto what they have done. They are accepting the situation. At least you have to give credit where credit is due. They are actually accepting the situation and they are saying that they are trying to do their best, but the sentence before that doesn't make sense with the sentence afterwards. So they should be taking a proactive approach to it and try to sort this situation out, and especially between people who can spend and people who cannot spend. Okay. What she was talking about in others is that she also said something around 4 points. She said, we'll share the win rate of units in the arena regularly to improve the balance. So what is she going to share? So what do you mean by rates of win rate of unit? Does that mean that what kind of units, what kind of heroes are used in arena, how many battles they are winning, and then they will try to improve the balance of the game? Yeah, they need to rebalance quite a few of the heroes that are there in the game. They need to make a lot of rebalancing. We cannot have arena using only 5 or 6 heroes out there, especially the arena defense, where you can have only everybody who's facing Lydia team or facing those super tanky team. They're all causing a lot of problem in arena. I just do arena just to finish my dailies. I don't regularly farm it. If I get to Diamond 5, I say that's enough. I'm not going to go higher. There's no point in doing it. It's so difficult to get to Diamond 1. So I don't see, I really want them to rebalance the game in such a fashion that arena is much more balanced. People who go there and try to fight a defensive team should be able to beat them, or the people who are trying to use different kind of heroes should also be able to beat them. Okay, let's move to the second point. We will share the event details in advance to let players have time to prepare for upcoming events. That's a good idea. You can tell people well in advance what kind of event it is, how many points are required, how many days will be there, but that's just not enough. You have to give sufficient time to do it as well. Look at the dispatch event. The dispatch event was lasting only 3 to 4 days, and will anybody be able to finish it unless they spend their diamonds on it? No one. You can't finish it without spending diamonds. Did I finish it? No. I ignored it. Why? Why should I, how will I be like, so diligent as to like exactly at the time the dispatch quest is going to get finished? It's at that time that I'll start my new dispatch. And even then, even if you do that, you still cannot win it unless you use your diamonds. That's not how the game event should be. That's not how event should be made. You should allow the time for people to do it if they are doing it diligently. Every single game has got that kind of a situation. So race should also do the same thing, right? Okay. So in addition, we will add books as community reward, so everyone has a chance to obtain them. Okay, it's not just what kind of community are they talking about when it comes to book. Are they going to give it as part of their Discord community, or is it their game community within the in-game community? Is it within the guild? Are they going to give it during GVG? Are they going to give it during other events? I'd say that they need to have a broad approach towards giving the books, right? They need to do that. They have to ensure that every free player is able to get at least 1 or 2 legendary books, or a few 4 or 5 epic books within the game in a month, at least in a month. That's what other games do. They allow that to happen. They have that RNG that it drops from someplace, at least if not in events, then in some other area. They need to drop that. Without that drops of those books coming in through events or other areas like Guild Boss, GVE, GVG, RTA, people are not going to be happy. They will not be. So they need to give a much more broader, give us more broader information, and also incorporate a broader regime of, letting the books drop for the players and to let them have it. There's nothing wrong in it. I don't think by getting 1 or 2 legendary books a month, a person is going to be super powerful within a year. It'll take almost a year for a person to completely upgrade 1 legendary book, one legendary hero, if they are getting to 1 or 2 books a month. So please understand that. At least do something. Otherwise, people are going to be like, I can't achieve it. I'll not be able to get it. And if you lose your free-to-play players, then the whales will automatically leave because they do not have anybody to compete against. Okay? Then finally, she was talking about friendly RTA, and GVG will arrive in November. We have sufficient contents in the game. You are saying that also to reduce the time burden of all our newly introduced content, developers are accelerating the development of background battle functions, which are expected to be available near the end September or early October. At the same time, ACE will slow down on the development of new content in the future, and we will spend more time iterating and optimizing existing contents. Yeah, I do understand. You're introducing a lot of contents, which is good. Every game, if they do not bring in contents, they will not be able to develop. But you have brought in contents so quickly, that's fine. We need those contents. But the time-saving measures is not only about background battle function. As I said earlier, it's not just background battle function. How many times would you allow that to happen is also very important. Like if you are allowing the player to do background battle for your multi-battle, you're still keeping the multi-battle at 10 battles per multi-battle. That doesn't make any difference. It's not going to make any difference. What you require is that the background battle should be like, okay, I'm at work. I've got my phone with me at work. I want to do or maybe I'm at home. I want to go cook some dinner for my family. So before going to dinner, I just put on 100 multi-battle, and I come back after, cooking my dinner, having my dinner with my family, enjoying my time, spending time with them, and then come back and see, oh, my 100 battles are finished. What is the result of it? I search through the gear, sort them out, sell it out, and then I start my 100 battle again. Or else, I want to do it overnight. I go to before going to bed, I can start the multi-battle, put my computer on auto shutdown, and then go go to bed. When I come back next morning, I see that, oh, I've finished the multi-battle and I've found this many gears. That is the kind of situation that we want. It's not just that we want background battle functions, and also the battles need to be faster. You can see in the background, I've got my Ash dungeon running out there. Yeah, it takes only 10 rounds, but it takes around 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes for one battle to finish. So that means 10 battles are going to take 20 minutes or 25 minutes to finish. And then after 25 minutes, I have to come back and check to what kind of gear I got. That's not what we want. We want to have much faster runs. It should be finished off within a minute. If I'm able to do a minute run, so I'll be doing 60 battles an hour. Imagine what kind of money you'll be getting from the bread that I'll be buying. Now, I'm not saying that free-to-play players have to buy bread. I'm saying that if I'm buying bread to do those battles, then you'll be getting money from it, right? So it's a kind of like people who are whales will always be ready to spend for that. And people who are not free-to-play will try to save for that. So yeah, time-saving methods, time-saving elements also include reduction in the time spent to do certain activities, not just keeping it in the background. Okay, so that's just my opinion on whatever Boolin has said. If you have your opinions, if you think that what I said is not enough, or if you think that what I said is wrong, you have your comments, please comment on my video. Yeah, I have no problem with people commenting on my videos. Just don't be rude. Please be polite. I do not say I don't like to be impolite during my conversations. So please be polite, but put up your opinions on the comment section. Let's hear about it. And based on what you are saying in the comments, I'll accumulate your comments and put up in the content creator chats and talk with Boolin about it. So let's hear from you all. That's all from me. I hope you have a good time. At the moment, I'm not participating in any of the events. I'm just doing my runs just so that I can finish off my dailies and keep myself updated. But I'm not doing any events. I do not have sufficient time to do that, nor do I have the resources to do that. And so yeah, at the moment, I'm just doing my runs just enough to get my gear, a few gear. If I get a couple of good gears, that's fine. So yeah, I'll stop here. That's enough of the rant. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give me your opinion on the comment section. Love, peace, and blessings from me. See you on the next video. Bye.